Since we last spoke, there's been stunning developments, Michael. Now, we've had this press conference overnight that's involved the Taliban. They say they're rebranded. They say that women will have their rights up to a certain point within Sharia law. Can they be trusted?
Well, as the US National Security Advisor said today, this is an issue about trust. This is an issue about verification. So look, this Taliban are saying and so far doing all the right things. But, how much faith can we have? Can we believe that this is real? And as you say, in their press conference today, they said, girls, go back to school. And they were handing out headscarves at the school gate. They've encouraged women to go back to their jobs in the government or in the private sector. And they said the media can remain independent as long as they don't work against national values. So look, there's a lot of grey areas in that. But we're not talking about a new Taliban, but we are talking about a now Taliban versus the old Taliban. I've spent this morning talking to an Afghan who has been talking and negotiating with the Taliban. And it's fascinating. I've been trying to test this idea of how different they are now from 20 years ago. And obviously, like we say, we can't take them on face value, but certain things have definitely changed. Now, right now, even though President Biden says rightly that the Afghan political leaders gave up and fled the country, there are other political leaders who've stayed. Principally, an Afghan leader called Abdullah and the former president, Hamid Karzai. They're still in Kabul. They're actually in negotiations with this now Taliban. And principally, the focus of those negotiations is how the Taliban intend to operate in this new Afghanistan, because Afghanistan has changed enormously in the past 20 years. With the access to Western foreigners, with modern smartphones, the internet. There's been generations of Afghans who have now grown up in a different Afghanistan. So what I'm being told is that there's a real tension within the Taliban because they know that the expectations and the aspirations of the Afghan people today are very different to what the Taliban had governed over 20 years ago. And they see this as a potential, what I was told, headache. This is a real challenge for them, how they're going to adjust. But it appears that they're politically savvy enough right now, at least, to be aware of this problem. Now, beyond that, there is a deeper schism within this Taliban today. And that is what was described to me as the Taliban technocrats, those who've been negotiating in Doha, and other leaders who are much more policy-minded. And these people may want to see a different kind of Taliban rule, but then you've got the fighters on the ground. Now, these are the guys who have been, for years, planting the IEDs. They've been in the gun battles with Western forces, and they've lost their friends in this fight. Now, those guys may not be so open to a more moderate or more accommodating Taliban. So there's tensions between the Taliban and different political groups and the people on the ground today, and tensions within the Taliban itself. But they've offered a full amnesty to anyone who worked for the served in the Afghan army, or worked with the government, or worked with us foreigners. And so far, they've been good to their word. And indeed, I was talking to someone in Kandahar, and he said the Taliban are giving out phone numbers and saying, if you have any problems, call us and we'll go and deal with our fighters who are giving you a problem. It's a fascinating situation.
Yeah, and we'll see how that all unfolds in the days, weeks, months, years ahead. Michael, appreciate that. We'll talk to you again later on this week.